Hey, how's it going, subscribers? So this is a 27 Jordan guy. I changed my name to Visual Trades. It's just easier to manage. So today we're gonna have a market recap of November 1st. To kick off the month, I would like to pull up my predictions that I have from last Thursday going into Friday. We actually confirmed one of the predictions to be correct, and today I was looking for further confirmation, which we did get. What I'll get to in a minute. Oops, sorry. All right, so the first prediction was why I think we found the bottom. This was said on October 28th. I was basically saying that the MACD line was flattening. The signal indicator was ready to be flipped over, and also we saw the low between the fib levels of the 0 and the 0.236 as we did in May. So I was saying further bottoming wouldn't be necessary because we've already respected the fib levels. Because you got to remember, on a macro level, that's what you have to respect. It's not increments of price. They're not playing by price. They're playing by things that we can't see. So that's why I feel like we saw the bottom on Thursday. I even wrote the date over it. And, basically all of these things that I even said that we had a confirmed higher low um, heading into um, heading into Friday. So I don't know if you can see that right there, but that's a confirmed trend line. It's more prevalent on like the hour chart, but nonetheless. And then the most accurate thing that I predicted was to expect at least a high of 36.39 and then a pin between 35 and 36. And as you can see, to a T, we literally got that. Or 36.29, I think I mistyped that, but we got the top, and then we got a pin between 35 and 36. Today's November 1st, so this was our closing. I think it was around 35 4. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Let me see the high of the candle. 35.54 was the high, and then our closing was 35.37. So that's pretty dead in the center. So it's safe to assume that this model so far is working. I can't really get a lot of people to kind of be on my side in terms of like the Discord, because I think there's like ranks or something like that. So a lot of the people who've been in the Discord for a while are a little bit more respected. I just hope that they're able to see these things. If not, I'll just try to continue to grow my little community, and we can create our own Discord, and we can base it off of these fib levels, because I feel like these are a little underappreciated. So now I'm going to get into a recap and what we should be seeing coming up. Also, why I think that this bullish stance will remain for the remainder of the month up until we get into a squeeze. So first off, I would like to start off with the confirmed trend line that was above 35, which is correct. Um, I, 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 I said that we would not be seeing anything dip below 35 heading into um, heading into November, which we didn't. We had that confirmed trend line that it seems to be respecting pretty well. Um, I'm still firm on my November 3rd or by earnings stance until further notice for 40. As you can see, it's lining up pretty well to do this sort of bull crawl. We were a little early. I'll get into being early in a minute. But this sort of thesis, since earnings has been officially announced November 8th, seems to be lining up perfectly for us to be able to do some fast market attacks. And this play out in the duration may not even happen in the duration of days. It may be a shorter span of days. That's just the way of the market. It's like certain parts accelerate, like you had right here. I mean, we didn't have this bear crawl like we did up here. This was just a sudden drop off, so it kind of pushed us forward in terms of seeing downside. So also, so I'm still firm on the earnings stance. I would also like to show you guys something I've been working on. What would happen if the algo were to repeat? Okay. And after this, I'm going to show you something that will blow your mind. Shout out David Marino for the thing I'm about to show you next, called out the Dogecoin chart. Okay, so the best way I can explain this is that I remember I was talking with Jen Colada one night, and we were discussing what levels that they're hitting in the fib, because we're not seeing the exact levels that are being hit. There's no way that an algorithm is hitting levels that don't exist. You know what I mean? Like it needs something tangible. It's a variable. You know what I mean? So we're doing some digging and we found out these numbers being 0.886 being like one of the numbers that's really vital for it to test if it breaks into all-time highs. So if you look here, if you create a retracement from the high of 72 that we experienced all the way to the swing low of 8, kind of like the bottom that we had right here, you can see that if you add the 0.886 to 3, you'll get a top. And the reason why this is valid is because if you take a look back here, if you do the same retracement to the same sort of bottom, and you look at where we ended our high, it's around the same area, in between this little pocket of 618 and 886. So I'm expecting a top going forward towards the end of the month between 239 and 256. Now, would it be wise to take profits that high in? No. For me, it's not wise. Just because of you take the risk of IV drop, you take a risk of low liquidity. After a drop, like people are gonna get shaken out of the market. Well, not low liquidity, but the inability to sell when everybody else is selling. There you go. So from then, where does that take us? So I remember how I said that there were key levels that abide by this 0.086 or 0.886. There's also retrace levels, and that one is it's either 0.114 or 0.014. And if you do the math, oddly enough, if you do 0.1, which is, think of it like 2 zeros at the end like this, and then minus 0.086, you had those retracement levels. Same thing that happened right here, 1.0.014, but this is the 3, and it's valid. It's a valid thing. So if we were to continue, and I'm pretty sure I have this retracement kind of off, that's why it's not hitting. I would expect that if the cycle continues, that we will see a high somewhere around 250 and a low between like 115 to 100 if they were to continue to pull this bullshit off. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. There we go. That makes more sense. Now, the other thing is like, okay, well, what if we rip past 250? For me personally, my safe zone would be around 350 all the way to 415. And I'll actually show you why right now. There was a correlation that I saw. Shout out David Marino with Dogecoin making a run. Damn! I thought I had this ready, because I don't want it to seem like I'm talking out the crack of my ass. But fuck, I wish I had that ready. I'll actually discuss that in the next video, because I don't want to just be saying things out the crack of my ass and then people be like, oh, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? But basically the theory was like, out of all the swings, if you take there's a reason behind this retracement. I would just have to look at the graph again to get that reason. And I think it was because if you took that retracement from the potential top all the way to that second peak that you saw on Dogecoin off of a FOMO run, it equates exactly to this retraces 1.618 level. And that's one pocket. But then it equates to the 1.618 level of a retrace from the last top all the way to your lowest swing low. So it's almost like your absolute from your absolute maximum to your absolute minimum. If you take a retrace, then the peak, if we were to see another run, will stop at the 1.618 level formed from that retracement level. So that's where I stand on a peak, because you got to remember, like, dark pool volume and retail volume have to meet up at a certain point. So what could be $5,000 being the share price right now in the dark pools, to us that's like $30. So you got to think of them coming in like this and meeting at one point before we see a drop off. That's why I believe GameStop, you know, as much as they short laddered us, I don't, I don't, I don't, I, I mean, it could have reached the thousands, but let's be real here. Like we're fighting against manipulation. You know what I mean? It's just they have to use these levels, otherwise they wouldn't be able to control the markets the way they do. So let me get back to the other graph. Okay. Now, in my belief, you know, Fib tells the whole story. I don't understand why some people are expecting a further drop. I don't think, and this is no disrespect to their thesis, but I don't think that there's any backing behind why we need to see another drop other than just looking at the chart and trying to correlate the shape with where we are right now. You have to use Fib. Like that's one thing. It's the only constant with this chart. And I even referred one of the people in the Discord that earnings are the only reputable catalysts that provide upswings after the news is announced. So because of that, it's kind of hard for me to believe that we're still in the cards for another drop. I don't see us going back down to, you know, I mean 35.50 at the most. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't think it's possible, and especially when you're price watching and you're looking for minimum price increments like within by the minute to be hit. And if not, you're discrediting cycle theory. Like that's a horrible way to live out your. That's how they use Wyckoff against us, because we're line watchers. We're the ones with lesser money. So when we're watching the line and we're expecting things to be hit, and they don't get hit, it makes us feel emotionally driven to come to a conclusion instead of us remaining with our thesis. So that's how they play us. And I remember there were people calling out 33, you know, which isn't a bad thing to expect, but that's just kicking fundamentals out of the door. Like, you know, you can only say so much to have, you know, someone come back to controlling their emotions and being like, look, let's analyze this. You know what I mean? So I don't particularly like to line watch. I sleep through the day. Usually I just expect it in ranges. These lines don't indicate that this uptrend is about to happen like that. So for those who are watching, I'm sorry that that's there, but that's what I drew like a while ago. So all right, now I would like to say one or two more things. So if you look at the indicator of the MACD, MACD is my favorite indicator by far. Go right here. This is the daily chart. Ignore all the words. I just kind of want you guys to look at this. So in my last video, I mentioned that the speed of the MACD flipping at a certain price level indicates if we are overbought or oversold. So as you can see, it's flipping more frequently, and to confirm if we're flipping because we're overbought and oversold, use that in correlation with the relative strength index. And as you can see, we're still teetering right below the oversold level. So that's bullish to me. Bare bone TA. I mean, I don't want to waste my time, you know, trying to decipher the most little things in terms of volume. Volume is in correlation with price action. You can't really predict volume. And on top of that, I'd just like to end with macro movements overtake your thesis. Like if you want to have a valid thesis, the best way to do it is to make a thesis based off of a higher time frame, because even if the numbers aren't hit to a T, you still have ranges in the projection that don't mean you're wrong. You're probably just off by maybe like a day or two. Like it's okay, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't invalidate anything. So to end off this video, I'll just say that in order to what we can see maybe tomorrow or Wednesday is I'm hoping to see this move right here where we break the 0.382 level and consolidate at or a little below it. So that would look like a gap up in the morning, a fast attack of 37.88, and maybe a break a little bit below 38, and then consolidation under it between this midpoint between the 0.236 and the 0.382 levels, so somewhere around here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see above 37.50. So that's where I'm going to end the video. If you guys appreciated it, I appreciate you guys. Just go ahead and drop a like, subscribe. I hate saying that, but yeah, have a good one.